they've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
Hi everyone and welcome to KRYPTALK, that Irish guy that talks about Bitcoin. So the month of November is statistically a very bullish month for Bitcoin. I don't want to waste your time, I know it's precious, so let's get started. This is episode number 51 and the title of this episode is Moonvember. Why November is a bullish month for Bitcoin. But before I do any of that, take a quick look at this. This is the KRYPTALK YouTube channel. So whether you're new to Bitcoin or you're a Bitcoin OG, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and the bell notification and set it to all. So that way you'll get a notification every time I drop a new video and you can stay up to date with the latest Bitcoin price action and news. And charts. Okay, let's get the basics out of the way. This is the Kraken chart. These are daily candles and Bitcoin is trading at $61,497. We're getting support by the EMA ribbon here. We're still above it. We got support by it about a week ago here. We take another bounce off it today. We're below the basis of the Bollinger Band, this red line here. So we're still trading inside the Bollinger Bands. We're not overextended, but we're not down along the bottom of it. However, the Bollinger Bands are tightening, which is usually a sign that the volatility is decreasing and usually coincides with a breakout. The RSI is down around 55.39. We're trading at $61,500, but the RSI is still very, very low. Remember, when this is above 70, when it trades up to 70 and 80, it's a sign that we're overbought, overextended, and a correction is imminent. However, we're kind of doing the opposite. The RSI is actually down around 55. That's fantastic. That's actually really, really good and really bullish. And I do think this is the calm before the storm. We're also trading above, although not on screen at the moment, we're trading above the 50 and the 200 daily moving averages. Now, I've just removed those indicators. I want to talk about two different patterns. The first pattern here is this white pattern here. So you have this white line here. It's a resistance line. You have this white line here. It's a support line. You've had a point of contact 1, 2, 3. Can't seem to break above this resistance here. But at the same time, we're getting support 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact on the support line. So that's one potential target. We could be breaking out of that. Bitcoin will break out of that before the 14th of November. It's about 8 days time, but it's a very impatient asset. It'll probably break out of this before next Friday. Now I've gone ahead and I've removed those white lines because this is the pattern I really want to talk about. So this is what's called, this looks like a textbook bull flag. So you have basically a price increase, a rapid price increase. There's your flagpole, and then you have a period of downwards or sideways trading, just like we're experiencing here, and that forms the flag. Basically, Bitcoin trades in between these two parallel lines. Now, it's possible that the Bitcoin price could break down as far as this line here and test this support line for like a fourth time, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually a fifth time. That would put us down around $56,000. We can't rule that out. Even at $56,000, we could lose support to go down. I think that's unlikely. I don't think we're going down as far as $56,000. I think at the lowest, within the next few days or weeks, we may get down as far as 58 and get support on this purple perforated line, which is a previous all-time high, before going up. That's the lowest I see it going within the next few days or weeks. Now, if we were to get a breakout to the upside and it was to break out of this resistance line here on top, so then this is a case of taking this flagpole, adding it to the point of the breakout, and then there's a quick kind of a rough price target calculation. That would put us at about $89,500. Remember, my own personal prediction, if you've been following the channel, is $88,000 this cycle before the next halving in 2024. I know it's very, very conservative, but that is my price target. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's more. Now, you might be looking at that kind of going, how can you just look at a pattern and then, add on a line to point of breakout and then kind of say, oh yeah, it's going to hit $89,000. Let's just dial the clock back, because I completely understand, especially if you're new, why you'd be skeptical about that. But these patterns, they're not just Bitcoin. These are actually they're from traditional patterns, or patterns that you'd find in traditional stock markets as well. So if we take a look at this, if we go all the way back as far as this, look at this massive basically triangle. It's basically a consolidation pattern here. This is the all-time high in 2017 of $20,000. This is the peak in 2019 of $14,000. If we're just to zoom in here, you see look at this bull flag here, this bull pennant actually. Bitcoin broke out of this bull pennant And not only did it break out of this bull pennant back in the summer of 2020, July 2020, by doing so, it actually broke not just out of this green triangle, not just out of this green bullish pennant, but out of this massive, like 2 or 3 year resistance line, this downward sloping resistance line that was holding the price of Bitcoin down since 2017, since December 2017. So I think, me personally, that's the day that this bull run started for me. You may disagree. Now, if I was to take this line, clone it, and add it to the point of the breakout, what was the price calculation there? What was the target? It was the top here, $28,000. Like at the time, I remember doing that on this channel going, God, is that a bit too much hopium? Is that a bit too positive? Is that a bit too ambitious? But actually, look at the price action we've had. It's not too ambitious, and neither is $89,000. Now, referring back to the title of this episode, why November is a bullish month for Bitcoin. Traditionally, it is. If you look at all these candles, these are monthly candles. So all these candles represent 1 month of trading Bitcoin. This is November 2013, green candle, bullish month. This is November 2014, green candle, bullish month. 2015, again, green candle, another bullish month. There's 2016 there, small green candle, but still a bullish candle. Here's where it starts to get interesting. To go a bit higher here. There's November 2017. Now, 2018 and 19 were actually bearish months for Bitcoin. So there's your November candle for 2018. And that's 2019. And of course, 2020 was bullish, massively bullish. So typically, the month of November is a bullish month. The price opens trading November 1st at one price and then finishes at a higher price. There's absolutely no guarantee, but this is just based on the patterns and based on the trends, and the trend is your friend in the end. So yeah, that's why I think it's we're in a good position for an all-time high this month. Okay, I'm going to spend a few seconds to talk about my dollar cost averaging project. So every single episode I buy 10 euro worth of Bitcoin, and over time allow it to accumulate and see if it's in profit or in loss. So I've been doing this for 38 episodes, 38 by 10 euro, total investors 380 euro. That Bitcoin that I bought with that is now worth 916 euro and 68 cent. If I was to sell today, that's a total profit of 536 euro and 68 cent, which is about 141%. So that's nearly time and a half back on my investment. It's not bad. On with the episode. Quick question. Do you think November is going to be a bullish or a bearish month for Bitcoin? Let me know in the comment section down below. So I'm just going to finish off this episode with a very, very quick news roundup. So the first article I want to draw your attention to is this one here by Forbes. JP Morgan doubles down on its massive Bitcoin price prediction but adds a serious warning. Basically, back in January, they predicted that Bitcoin was going to go to $146,000, which is what is interesting is that back in 2017, their CEO, Jamie Dimon, was quoted saying any of his employees who were caught dealing and trading in Bitcoin would be fired. That's some U-turn from their stance, don't go near Bitcoin, it's a scam, don't go near it, to back in January, they are predicting that it's going to go to $146,000. Now, what they've done, this article that basically outlines how they've doubled down on that. They've said it again this week that it's going to trade at $146,000, and they're kind of their warning is that it could be volatile. It could drop to $35,000. But in fairness, if you don't know that about Bitcoin, you shouldn't be in the space in the first place. Now, what's interesting and what's kind of refreshing is that a lot of these, in the last year or two especially, we've had a lot of these big kind of millionaires, billionaires, banks, institutions who were previously very bearish in Bitcoin, very anti-Bitcoin, saying it was a scam, don't go near it. They have changed their tune. A lot of them actually come out and said, yeah, we were wrong about Bitcoin. And now they're pro-Bitcoin or Bitcoin bulls and buying Bitcoin. But like, it's refreshing, but I'm wondering, like, is this just like they knew this all along, but they didn't want the price to skyrocket and they wanted to accumulate all along? Or is it that now they understand it and they're like, yeah, actually, it's not a scam. It's a secure way of possibly disruptive technology that might revolutionize the financial system and a great hedge against inflation. It's hard to know, but like it's definitely bullish news. The next thing I want you to draw your attention to is this article here. Australia approves long-awaited spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, you might remember about a month ago, I did an episode on it that America had the first ever Bitcoin exchange traded fund approved by the SEC in America. Now, they'd never had one before, but this Bitcoin ETF was futures contracts. It wasn't like backed by physical Bitcoin, whereas a spot Bitcoin ETF is, and a spot Bitcoin ETF will have far more of an effect on the market. Now, there are rumors circulating that the SEC are going to improve it. And I just want you to draw your attention to this article. This fella here in the article, that's Gary Gensler. He's the chairman of the SEC. And For years, any applications for Bitcoin ETFs in America were rejected. But that one about a month ago was the first one that was approved, and it just so happens that Gary Gensler, the guy who's now the chairman of the SEC, is, he knows about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because he used to lecture at MIT, and he used to lecture, the course was called Blockchain and Money. So this guy knows his stuff. He has come out and said that it does require some regulation, but they're not going to go down the China route, that America will not follow China down and just ban mining and ban everything to do with Bitcoin. Didn't really work out too well for China, really, because like all the Bitcoin miners, they just shut up shop and went to places like Miami and Texas. So now America has a lot more of the monopoly of the Bitcoin mining. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is this article here. Basically, this Forbes article, trillions of dollars, Bitcoin brace for a massive earthquake as the price of Ethereum, Binance's BNB, Solana, Cardano, and XRP soar. This is basically, they mentioned Michael Saylor. He's the owner, basically, rather CEO of MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy, one of those companies that bought millions and millions worth of Bitcoin last year, and they openly said it was a hedge against inflation. In an interview with Michael Saylor, basically he's saying that if a spot Bitcoin ETF, like I've just mentioned, is approved by the SEC in America, that will just be a catalyst to stimulate millions, even trillions of dollars to flow into Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency space. And that could be the catalyst really that could push Bitcoin over 100,000. That could happen within a matter of weeks or months even. Now, the last thing I want to take a look at, I don't normally do this. I like to think that on this channel, when I'm presenting something, I'm showing you stuff based on data, indicators, historical charts, historical patterns, and the sources I'm using are actual sources. However, Plan B, he's notorious in the Bitcoin space. I'm sure you've heard of him. If you haven't, basically he used the stock to flow model to predict a Bitcoin of $288,000 between now and 2024, the next halving. My own prediction is 88,000. It's far more realistic and far more conservative. I've never been on board with the $288,000 prediction, but I really, really, really hope that he's right and I am wrong. So this guy, he tweeted this yesterday. Are you ready for plus $10,000 daily candles? And then this meme of, like a rocket ship going to the moon, which is basically, it's hints that it's to the upside. Well, not even hints, fairly blatant really, that it's to the upside. Now, there is a lot of rumblings that the SEC are going to improve that Bitcoin spot ETF. And if you remember about a month ago when the futures ETF was approved, that drove the price to an all-time high of $67,000. So hopefully he's basing this tweet off something that he knows or he's aware of that maybe a lot of people don't. And Monday we might see some sort of news which will act as a catalyst to drive us towards higher highs. That's it. That's the end of this episode, and as usual, I want to say a massive thank you to anyone who's watched the videos, liked the videos, or subscribed to the channel. If you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed, maybe you'll consider clicking that like and subscribe button, and you'll stay up to date with the latest Bitcoin price action and news. So if you got any value or learned anything new from this episode, go ahead and like, subscribe, and shláinte. Bye 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 bye.